Farotimi is somebody who everyone believes that, how is he going to handle it? Well, it is not just Dele Farotimi. There are, I believe, thousands of Dele Farotimi as well. You know why they are not, I want to believe, why they are not declaring like everyone else, as you probably would expect. And I watch them swallow their words or eat their words, as some people are willing to quote them. Some are saying that they are still watching the coalition thing with serious observation, like, with so much curiosity and all that, enough that the only reason why they would have to, compromise their own principles and all that and be part and promote their coalition will be if Peter Obi becomes their candidate. You see all these conditions. So Tifnumbu and his gang, the Ronokus and others, they are actually landmines that they want to see how they're going to manage it. Would Peter Obi transfer his supporters to whoever emerge as the intention? Because this time around, nobody should talk about, what do you call it? The thieves want to come back to power in this case anymore. Like, it won't really hold water anymore. Because right now, Peter Obi himself is ready, or should I say, has already compromised whatever it is that, the structure of criminality that he was talking about then, right? So as an obedient, right? So you may possibly continue to kind of like make yourself feel better and say, you know what, Obi may be mixing up with them, but that doesn't mean that he is one of them if it hasn't been proven, right? Which is also valid, by the way. It's valid and say, yeah, it's, So in that case, they are together. So them coming together means they said they want to save the contraption. And saving the contraption means everybody must be on board, even when you don't get what you want. But the obedient don't seem to be like that. They believe that they cannot be used to bring these criminals back to power if the power is not going to be in the hand of Obi as the only person they can trust. That's what everyone is saying. So Datti has this to say.
I can't speak for His Excellency Peter Obi. I'll speak for myself.
Well, he issued a statement saying he had left.
Well, then take his word for it. As for me, I have not left Labour Party.
Okay.
I am considering the coalition who have adopted ADC.
Right.
Now, don't consume the excitement. And don't be consumed by the excitement. Okay, manage the excitement. Right now, it's all about excitement. Understandably so, because Nigerians are depressed as much as they are oppressed. So this excitement can easily consume everyone. Right. And what I'm saying is hold back, think critically, think very well. And before you fire another question, let me just say the opposition is right in all that it's doing. I agree wholeheartedly in coming together. The principles behind it, the objectives of it are all correct. But you're also playing somebody else's game. This game is Tinubu's game. And I'm not praising him in any way whatsoever. But everyone must understand the situation as it were. Please be patient. Let me, in summary, narrate everything. President Buhari, after losing the third time, cried to the world that he's done with politics. And that's when it began. There are internal issues with Buhari, but the external ones are, that is when Tinubu saw the opportunity, bring him back into the fold after the 07 Atiku and 11 Ribadu. add the Southwest and the Tinubu influences to his existing 12 million votes. It was easy to convince Buhari to come back in any way because he carries a lot of baggage, who only survive from political donations. I'm sorry to say that's the truth. So Buhari just has to contest every election. Ever since the PTF days after the passing of Abacha, Buhari was removed from head of state without any trade whatsoever. So he and his can only live off a political system. But I'm not hitting at Buhari. Tinubu saw this opportunity, saw the weakness in Buhari, pumped a lot of money, brought his party machinery, and then injected his own agenda. That you go now, I'll make the name of being a kingmaker. I have made from councillor to governors. Now I want to make a president. And if I make a president, I'll make myself a president. That is what happened. Coalition now is playing the scripts of Tinubu. I believe in the coalition, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you don't have to play the game the way he did.
Yeah, but what is the script?
The script is what I've just narrated to you, Charles. Exactly how.
Yeah, but how does that relate
now, what
to
they
the
think,
opposition coalition?
What opposition is saying, again I repeat, I'm in support of this opposition.
Right.
Now, there are structural misgivings in the coalition as it were today. Buhari was the distant anointed from the ab initio. The convener, Tinubu, already had it, and whoever he enrolled was, understand that Buhari is going and after him I will come. And you have to buy into that. However, we won't stop you from contesting.
Yeah, but
let me finish.
We already got there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
okay.
just that we haven't got
now,
all the time
I'm
in
saying,
the world.
What Datti is pretending to be finding difficult to spit out was that this whole coalition thing is being put together by people whose survivors depends on public fund. They are discredited people. They are people who don't really trust. But here is a new green horn. Peter Obian is obedient. As naive and inexperienced as they might be, but they are determined. They don't need much to be persuaded, right? To possibly follow a common agenda if Obi is on board. That is their theory. Like he said, that was what Tinubu saw too. They said Bokwari used to get 11 million votes, 11 million votes, 11 million votes, but he never became president. However, Tinubu saw the weak point. He saw the idea of, let's pull everything together and make you president. And he did. So doing that, automatically, right, Tinubu became a kingmaker, a very powerful one, whose only added vote to Bokwari's was probably 2 million or so. I'm just saying, right? So they don't have much influence on votes, but they could leverage on this person that seems to be driving people crazy. So that's what he's saying. And who are these people? There is already a bit of a rumor that El Rufai is so strongly behind this, as evidently shown anyway, right? But there is more to that, what you see on the surface. So it is believed that he is positioning himself in a way that he will probably be like a kingmaker who made president and removed president. Here is the theory. El Rufai, the Kaduna little finger, was the last screw that got fixed and tightened to make Tinubu your president today. Whether they want to acknowledge it or they don't want to acknowledge it, it doesn't matter. It's being used and trashed. So feeling used and trashed, it was part of those who came together to remove a president 12 years ago. Remember? So, and then he's considered himself as somebody who has also installed a president. He was the one who sold the idea of Muslim ticket to Tifnumbu. That's the only thing the Arewa house in Kaduna can use in bringing all the malams together, all these sheikhs together. And it worked. They didn't give him the credit. Because Tifnumbu is like, no, get the hell out of here. I've already made a president. I'm like, sure you get. That's how they've treated him. Now, the Peter Obi, for instance, so before this El Rufai became Bokwari's supporter, he was one of Bokwari's public, hater. Let me use that word hater because he said so many horrible things about Bokwari until 2013, when Jonathan became their single enemy. Right? So now, their common enemy. So El Rufai has now swallowed everything he said about the Igbos, swallowed everything he said about Peter Obi. The whole lies and the rest of that, he swallowed them. He and Obi walked to the coalition center holding hands. That is the message. Because what people believe is that Tifnumbu is doing 4 years, right? He's going to do 4 years. So if he's kicked out in 2027 and the southern person becomes the president, so the only person that fits that picture is Peter Obi. So they will do everything, even if they have to do primaries, right? They will do everything to make sure that Peter Obi is the president. And with the condition that likely El Rufai will be his running mate. People are saying it. And don't ever say it is impossible. Anyway, so it is being said. So if El Rufai, once Peter Obi is done in 2031, El Rufai will be pretty much in a very good stead to now reap whatever Peter Obi manages to do. They're both Peter Obi's whatever achievements, as well as that of his obedience. He will rape them, and then he will be your president. Naso Shekau will be president of Nigeria if that happens. So that is what Datti was trying to say. Even though he also suggested that he wouldn't mind Obi and El Rufai. Something that is a little bit contradictory, right? Also, there is an Atifku. But the reason why that Atifku theory doesn't fit what he's saying is that Atifku can't be president again after 2027. He will be 84 years old by 2031. 84 years old, right? So, Peter Obi can be his vice, right? He can be his vice president. So that theory of maybe, they are trying, Atifku is trying to use Obi, no. It is El Rufai that fits that properly. But listen to this part.
Atiku almost cuts it, but it's not exactly there because Buhari is what I would call an outlier, an unusually high observation in a data set. That's what he was. Now, come to the next point. Again, I have said that there isn't a Buhari in the coalition. There isn't a Tinubu in this coalition. You don't have one
So it's
individual.
a free-for-all, basically, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right.
You have the proverbs better than I do.
Yeah,
but you're asking the questions.
But let's try and take it systematically.
Yeah.
Okay, so that we understand exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
You attended that meeting yesterday.
Yes.
You've been attending coalition meetings.
I attended 3.
Right, okay. But that suggests that there was something that was bringing you back.
Yes.
And something that you're not entirely satisfied with in the Labour Party that you're currently still in.
Not so. You can never be 100% satisfied wherever you are. There are misgivings. I really, really wanted to bring Peter Obi back on the negotiating table with the leadership. I wanted everything sorted out, him to remain. Right. And I still, if I have a chance, I'll still do it.
So you're disappointed because he's now said that he's left. In fact, the Labour Party gave him a 48-hour ultimatum. They issued a statement.
You need to be very sure about that if he has left. You need to be very sure.
Well, on his Twitter handle, he said he was now in the ADC coalition.
Yes. Now, technically speaking, being in the ADC coalition does not mean you have left your party. Refer to the meeting of Tuesday night and the communique issued after that meeting, it doesn't say that you have left your own political party. And this is a legal point.
No, I'm not even talking about the ADC, what they've said. I'm talking about what is happening in the Labour Party,
Yes.
who essentially, I mean, the leadership, although there is a divided leadership, but the leadership gave him an ultimatum of 48 hours to resign. And subsequently, he issued a statement saying he had actually left. But let's not get bogged down.
Let's get to the more.
I mean, what I need to understand, because there are a lot of people who listen to you
Yes.
and want to know what your perspective is on this. And you said you had attended at least 3 meetings, and you were there for that ADC sort of
Charles,
moment.
Labour Party deserves better than being walked away from.
Yeah, but the Labour Party seemed to be walking away from you, not you walking away from them.
No. Labour Party deserves better than being walked away from. Despite all misgivings, we know the hands that are playing each and every party. This is a party that scored, by our own count, over 10 million votes. This is a party that defeated APC and PTP together, irrespective of what the law courts said.
Datti. He said more, I think he was asked if he would be supporting, since he attended the coalition stuff, right? Would he be supporting anyone that emerges if it's not a Peter Obi, right? And he went on to say some certain things and all that. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. But just in between, this brother has something to say about the development as well. I'll show you. There's something I want you to observe. Have you noticed that since they announced their ADC, and the people around it and, the people behind it have been unveiled, people have not, these Ronukus have not been making it about IPOB and Igbos, like they have been so desperately, religiously calling this obedient movement when you are in Labour Party. I'm just saying, it's an observation, but I'm coming back. Listen to this.
Let me buttress more on this coalition issue now. Let's face it, because I hear a lot of arguments in regards to the fact that all of these people that are coming on to form are aggrieved politicians. They are politicians with dirty baggages or whatever, right? That is fine. That is true, right? But the question I want us to ask ourselves is, as far as Nigeria is concerned at the moment, do you think there is a space for a sense? There is a space for a new politician to actually emerge as being president? We will only be discussing that on the basis of normality, normal system. Like we talk of maybe Showore can be desired and a lot of other people, at least without political history baggages, right? But the fact is, there's no room for them. They can't stand Bala Blue. And the point of convergence, at least once one thing we have concluded, is the fact that there's underperformance, there's incompetency. Whatever the reasons are, is equally the reason why we put Bala Blue there. And so far, he is not delivering. So under normal circumstances, we can be talking about that. But hey, we are talking about an abnormal situation here. So it will be highly delusional for somebody to sit down now and think, because let's face it now, you're talking about some candidates that at the end of the day cannot even, when we're talking about a cent that I remember the action of Showore at a point in time in regards repealing that Cyber Crime Act. He could not even gather people to come around, not as if it's not his fault. People could not actually believe in what he is saying or the need to do that. And why? Because the common man, just like it's going to remain till 2027, is the fact that we're still going to be divided across religious sentiments, tribal sentiments, and the rest of it. So what I'm saying is, the factual and the realistic fact is the fact that, of a truth, hardship is at its highest level. which that can be ascribed to purely the government in power. And what is the next option? The next option is we need a change. A change that will take us finally to that hellfire way was past this one, or a change that somehow miracle will happen. So that is why I say antecedents doesn't matter to me at this point in time, because the